로봇.
Are you robot? Were you robot? Will you be robot?
먹다.
Do you eat? Did you eat? Will you eat?
날다.
Do you fly? Did you fly? Will you fly?
가득한.
Are you full? Were you full? Will you be full?
만들다.
Do you make? Did you make? Will you make?
늙은.
Are you old? Were you old? Will you be old?
짧은.
Are you short? Were you short? Will you be short?
간호사.
Are you nurse? Were you nurse? Will you be nurse?
노래하다.
Do you sing? Did you sing? Will you sing?
외로운.
Are you lonely? Were you lonely? Will you be lonely?
조깅하다.
Do you jog? Did you jog? Will you jog?
여행하다.
Do you travel? Did you travel? Will you travel?
아들.
Are you son? Were you son? Will you be son?
뜨다. 올라가다.
Do you rise? Did you rise? Will you rise?
수줍어하는.
Are you shy? Were you shy? Will you be shy?
의사.
Are you doctor? Were you doctor? Will you be doctor?
선생님.
Are you teacher? Were you teacher? Will you be teacher?
지루한.
Are you bored? Were you bored? Will you be bored?
웃다.
Do you laugh? Did you laugh? Will you laugh?
마른.
Are you thin? Were you thin? Will you be thin?
만나다.
Do you meet? Did you meet? Will you meet?
성인 남자.
Are you man? Were you man? Will you be man?
미안한.
Are you sorry? Were you sorry? Will you be sorry?
늦은.
Are you late? Were you late? Will you be late?
가져오다.
Do you bring? Did you bring? Will you bring?
듣다.
Do you listen? Did you listen? Will you listen?
읽다.
Do you read? Did you read? Will you read?
뛰어오르다.
Do you jump? Did you jump? Will you jump?
좋은, 훌륭한.
Are you fine? Were you fine? Will you be fine?
수영하다.
Do you swim? Did you swim? Will you swim?
좋은,
Are you good? Were you good? Will you be good?
방문하다.
Do you visit? Did you visit? Will you visit?
자다.
Do you sleep? Did you sleep? Will you sleep?
초한,
Are you ugly? Were you ugly? Will you be ugly?
돌아오다.
Do you return? Did you return? Will you return?
승차하다.
Do you ride? Did you ride? Will you ride?
아빠.
Are you dad? Were you dad? Will you be dad?
여동생.
Are you sister? Were you sister? Will you be sister?
키 큰.
Are you tall? Were you tall? Will you be tall?
열다.
Do you open? Did you open? Will you open?
슬픈.
Are you sad? Were you sad? Will you be sad?
배고픈.
Are you hungry? Were you hungry? Will you be hungry?
소녀.
Are you girl? Were you girl? Will you be girl?
소년.
Are you boy? Were you boy? Will you be boy?
아픈.
Are you sick? Were you sick? Will you be sick?
현명한.
Are you wise? Were you wise? Will you be wise?
성인 여자.
Are you woman? Were you woman? Will you be woman?
달리다.
Do you run? Did you run? Will you run?
부모.
Are you parent? Were you parent? Will you be parent?
따뜻한.
Are you warm? Were you warm? Will you be warm?
새로운.
Are you new? Were you new? Will you be new?
소녀. 안. 소년들.
Are you girl and boys? Were you girl and boys? Will you be girl and boys?
현명한. 함께. 학생들.
Are you wise with students? Were you wise with students? Will you be wise with students?
여자. 목적. 1.
Are you woman for work? Were you woman for work? Will you be woman for work?
빠른, 표면, 고속도로.
Are you fast on highway? Were you fast on highway? Will you be fast on highway?
고모, 이모. 출발, 서울.
Are you Aunt from Seoul? Were you Aunt from Seoul? Will you be Aunt from Seoul?
주부, 안, 집.
Are you housewife in house? Were you housewife in house? Will you be housewife in house?
자다, 표면, 길거리.
Do you sleep on street? Did you sleep on street? Will you sleep on street?
미안한, 함께. 그녀.
Are you sorry with her? Were you sorry with her? Will you be sorry with her?
소리치다, 화살표, 소년.
Do you shout a boy? Did you shout a boy? Will you shout a boy?
바쁜, 안, 사무실.
Are you busy in office? Were you busy in office? Will you be busy in office?
날다, 안, 비행기.
Do you fly in plane? Did you fly in plane? Will you fly in plane?
남자, 안, 사업.
Are you man in business? Were you man in business? Will you be man in business?
못생긴, 안, 어린 시절.
Are you ugly in childhood? Were you ugly in childhood? Will you be ugly in childhood?
읽다, 신문, 표면, 선반.
Do you read newspaper on shelf? Did you read newspaper on shelf? Will you read newspaper on shelf?
승차하다, 자전거, 함께, 너의 아내.
Do you ride bike with your wife? Did you ride bike with your wife? Will you ride bike with your wife?
오다, 출발, 마을.
Do you come from town? Did you come from town? Will you come from town?
가수, 목적, 무대.
Are you singer for stage? Were you singer for stage? Will you be singer for stage?
먹다, 햄버거, 함께, 콜라.
Do you eat hamburger with Coke? Did you eat hamburger with Coke? Will you eat hamburger with Coke?
따뜻한, 옆, 난로.
Are you warm by stove? Were you warm by stove? Will you be warm by stove?
게으른, 안, 휴가.
Are you lazy in vacation? Were you lazy in vacation? Will you be lazy in vacation?
외로운, 안, 동굴.
Are you lonely in cave? Were you lonely in cave? Will you be lonely in cave?
만나다, 곰, 안, 동물원.
Do you meet bear in zoo? Did you meet bear in zoo? Will you meet bear in zoo?
웃다. 포인트. 소년.
Do you laugh at boy? Did you laugh at boy? Will you laugh at boy?
반환하다. 출발. 부산.
Do you return from Busan? Did you return from Busan? Will you return from Busan?
가득한. 관계. 물.
Are you full of water? Were you full of water? Will you be full of water?
자매. 관계. 아기.
Are you sister of baby? Were you sister of baby? Will you be sister of baby?
가져오다. 종이. 출발. 상자.
Do you bring paper from box? Did you bring paper from box? Will you bring paper from box?
행복한. 함께. 남자.
Are you happy with man? Were you happy with man? Will you be happy with man?
삼촌. 출발. 일본.
Are you uncle from Japan? Were you uncle from Japan? Will you be uncle from Japan?
달리다. 표면. 들판.
Do you run on field? Did you run on field? Will you run on field?
자랑스러운. 관계. 아들.
Are you proud of son? Were you proud of son? Will you be proud of son?
키 큰. 비슷. 너의 아빠.
Are you tall as your dad? Were you tall as your dad? Will you be tall as your dad?
만들다. 비행기들. 관계. 종이.
Do you make planes of paper? Did you make planes of paper? Will you make planes of paper?
의사. 목적. 노인들.
Are you doctor for old people? Were you doctor for old people? Will you be doctor for old people?
피곤한. 함께. 허드렛 일.
Are you tired with chores? Were you tired with chores? Will you be tired with chores?
사라지다. 안. 숲.
Do you disappear in forest? Did you disappear in forest? Will you disappear in forest?
늙은. 안. 클럽.
Are you old and clip? Were you old and clip? Will you be old and clip?
새로운. 안. 마을.
Are you new in town? Were you new in town? Will you be new in town?
가다. 화살표. 교회.
Do you go to church? Did you go to church? Will you go to church?
어린. 안. 클럽.
Are you young in clip? Were you young in clip? Will you be young in clip?
경찰관. 안. 마을.
Are you police officer in town? Were you police officer in town? Will you be police officer in town?
엄마. 표면. 무대.
Are you mom on stage? Were you mom on stage? Will you be mom on stage?
얇은, 안, 초등학교.
Are you thin in elementary school? Were you thin in elementary school? Will you be thin in elementary school?
닫다, 가게, 옆, 교회.
Do you close store by church? Did you close store by church? Will you close store by church?
훌륭한, 좋은, 안, 교회.
Are you fine in church? Were you fine in church? Will you be fine in church?
아들, 관계, 남자.
Are you son of man? Were you son of man? Will you be son of man?
조종사, 관계, 비행기.
Are you pilot of plane? Were you pilot of plane? Will you be pilot of plane?
늦은, 목적, 학교.
Are you late for school? Were you late for school? Will you be late for school?
간호사, 함께, 주사.
Are you nurse with shot? Were you nurse with shot? Will you be nurse with shot?
로봇, 목적, 돕다.
Are you robot for help? Were you robot for help? Will you be robot for help?
던지다, 돌멩이, 화살표, 고양이.
Do you throw stone to cat? Did you throw stone to cat? Will you throw stone to cat?